Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, June 7th through Saturday to come, June 13th. And we're going to get right into it, beginning with the dice and email, I think, with which I started in the general too. Massage and cocktail. Speaking of the general, it may go up around the same time as the love. It's done. It's done in terms of being recorded, and I could have and should have processed it last night. You know, like the movie maker and the editor and everything. Spirit says 29, which is all about spiritual partnership, which did come out in the general reading. It's 50-50. This could also be about partnership. I mean, this is the love reading. It can also be about give and take. The ability to both give and receive, because a lot of people have problems with that, particularly with the receiving part. And also about balance, either internally, you know, as an individual, your own inner masculine and feminine, and or balance in your relationships or in your schedule too. Like, are you nurturing yourself? Are you, having equal time of work and play? Or are you just focused on one or the other? Neither is healthy. And lastly, weekend away. Somebody could be traveling. I was just thinking about traveling actually when I looked at the cards with which I'm beginning. A lot of earth here. First of all, I think this is very Jupiter and Sagittarius, and then like Jupiter in Capricorn, maybe specifically, and also Gemini with the cards that start. So I'll just start telling you what they are. The Miriam, of course, Miriam being a derivative of Mariama. And these are these twins here, so it's very Gemini for me. And it's called Sacred Vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Also, up right behind that is light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So maybe a lot of increased messages this week based on that. The next card is Lady Venus, which is all about downloads as well, but she's in reverse, so I'm not going to pick that one up. With the Rider-Waite deck, I'm beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. And for people who are looking for love, I mean, something could definitely be in your future, but perhaps outside. This is what got me thinking about the travels and stuff. Perhaps outside or in the sun, or maybe you'll be traveling somewhere that's traditionally like a sunny climate. A lot of people going to Florida and stuff. It can be something like that also. Be an island, somewhere tropical. But it could also very well just be you going outside, wherever you are. And that would be where you could meet somebody. Also at work, maybe. If you're in a committed relationship, these two cards have correlation as well. Committed relationships, when the Ace of Pentacles shows up, are ready to reconnect. There may have been some sort of detachment, separation, whether physical, emotional, or both, mental, and they're just ready to strengthen and grow, and again, reconnect, which, like, could be connected, could be tied to Major Arcana card, the Sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness and prosperity and success. You'll garner the recognition that for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. This is a very positive card. It does represent the planet Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, which is currently retrograde and located in Capricorn. So I think that may be what the Earth connection is about. The Sun also right now is in Gemini. Gemini represented by the Magician in the tarot for one, and we have here Saint Germain and Work Your Magic. So that's another reason why I think a lot this week, or at least with what at the beginning, with what we're starting now, directly connected to Gemini and Sagittarius, which are mirror opposites and control the nodes right now, with Gemini being the true north node and Sagittarius being the south node, opposite axis. So this card does represent the sign of Sagittarius and the planet Jupiter. Your plans will work out well. So it's like, whatever your thoughts are about your relationship, whether you're single and you need one and you want to find one, again, plans work out well, and perhaps outside in the sun somewhere. And if you're in a committed relationship and it hasn't been as tight, as you would have it, as you would want it, that also is coming. Specifically, what the sun can mean in the tarot is that you need space. So this could be representative of those who were or are, again, in some sort of separation, whether it's physical or emotional or both, maybe because of COVID, or those who've been like maybe up under each other because of things like COVID, like quarantining together in the same house, and you just need your own space now. It doesn't mean you don't, love the person and everything, but you need your own space. In either or both cases, I'm talking about committed relationships now. This is where we reconnect with the Ace of Pentacles. And then I normally wouldn't mention this one because it's in reverse, but the Seven of Pentacles in reverse can also be one of these cards that means like nobody's perfect. And, that includes you, so not just you, your mate as well. And so if there's been some sort of, again, separation, disagreement, you just don't feel as tight as you once had been, again, the Ace of Pentacles is a signal of reconnection. And I sort of briefly touched on these. We have abundance here, which is another very earth connected card for me. More so toward Venus than Capricorn, but, definitely it could be tied to all the Capricorn energy. More so Venus because of not only the female and the fact that she's nude, but the heart. And of course, Venus is the planet of love and abundance. So money and love. I think that's depicted here. This is also about surrender. So it could be like, again, when you're receiving messages, just letting go and allowing for what's meant to happen in your life this week to happen. So I was telling you about the general reading, and I went on to something else. But yeah, they may be up at the same time because I did not. I figured, I'll just do it in the morning. And my son is home, he came back from the place that he has with his girlfriend. So he's home, and he spends most of his time when he's home on the big, fast computer, which he built from scratch with his bare hands, by the way. So I guess he deserves to be on it. But I was expecting him to have gone to bed by now, and I could use it. And apparently he's pulling an all-nighter. And it's exactly 12:21 in the afternoon, and I still haven't processed the video. So I'm going to have to, if he's not done by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to have to go ahead and do it on, a slower computer. It's going to take me a little bit longer. So that's why I'm saying they may be up at the same time. Do watch the general, especially if you feel that this, you resonate strongly. I think always get as much information as you can. And a lot of times you'll see that the cards repeat for your particular sign or element and stuff like that too. All right, let's go all the way into this. Speaking of signs and elements, so I'm going to begin with the Rider-Waite Tarot. I never really know what I'm doing until I get on here and I press play. So I've decided to do this, and I've decided to shuffle these again in front of you. So I just opened 2 Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. I was just talking about the Magician. I said it represents the sign of Gemini first and foremost, but more importantly, even before everybody else who's not a Gemini, is that or not involved with one, is that when this card shows up, it's a time of manifestation. It's the guides telling you that right now, maybe more so than another time potentially, you really have the ability to manifest whatever it is you want. And considering, you know, it's opposite the Ace of Pentacles, it's like all the abundance that you need, you want, you have the ability to bring about right now in your own life. Ace of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles. So this is the feeling of lack, the feeling of I know I don't have the ability to bring into my life what I want, or I'm afraid to, because confidence is required, right? In order for us to think positively and believe, we need confidence. That's part of the faith part. And faith is step 2 in the manifestation phase, right? You begin with 1, that's the thought, that's the idea of what it is I want. Number 2, the faith, the belief that I can actually bring it about. Number 3, you see it taking form. And then number 4, boom, it's there, right? That's like the 4 of Wands energy, when you're just happy, you're pleased because you got what you wanted. With the 5 of Pentacles, in general, it's a card that represents feelings of lack, not even necessarily lack. And in terms of love, for me, it's also connected to like fear of abandonment, fear of commitment, fear of rejection, mommy issues, as they say, daddy issues. But this is what we can really have. So again, the 5 is what's in your mind, and that you need to remove from your mind if you're in this period of manifestation, because we can manifest negative stuff as just as easily as we can positive stuff, right? So you want to relieve yourself of that, and then focus on what you really could have. Make this your reality. 10 of Pentacles. When the 10 of Pentacles shows up in terms of love, it's like we're just so secure and happy that we're not really thinking about other stuff like money necessarily, or who else is in the world. It's like just you and me. Especially again, opposite the Ace of Pentacles. This can also be about marriage. And you see here, there's like a wedding arch here. This is like an aisle to me. It looks like a card of marriage, but this is, when I see the 10 of Pentacles, I always see it like blending families or creating a family. I'm just feeling whole and secure. And again, like nothing else matters in the world. Ace of Pentacles and the King of Cups. He might be nice to stop on after him. So by seeing him here, some of us may have already began to draw this person near us. And then and we got this boat here in the back. It's a red boat, and it has 3 sails. So it kind of reminds me of the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is a card that says, again, we're in this process of manifesting. We can begin to see something on the horizon, like taking form. Like we know we're almost there, but not quite. We haven't reached that 4 of Wands yet. So it's going to require a little bit of patience. But here he comes. And the King of Cups is one of the most positive cards in terms of love that you can get. He is like generous and lovable and romantic and caring, and when he speaks, like you can trust that he's being genuine, even if he's somebody that in the past hasn't necessarily been, and he's showing up this way. It's like you can believe what he's saying, that it's from the heart. Oh, I went back to the same Ace of Pentacles. Let's do that again. I mean, it's possible that I'm meant to, but let's try again. Okay. Yeah, I guess I was meant to, because the Ace is an 11 and therefore a 2, right? So it's like a 2 of Pentacles. And now we indeed have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse as our overall energy or starting card. So the Queen of Cups is behind that in reverse. And we're going to have, well, I might as well just put them up right. For the fire signs, this is your energy. The Page of Wands, also in reverse. For the earth signs, the Fool, also in reverse. This is an interesting card because it's like, well, we'll get into it, but the Fool, particularly in reverse, is like when you want love, but you want freedom and stuff more, and they're like combating each other. We'll talk about it. Yikes. This could be interesting for the air signs. It is the Tower in reverse. And lastly, for the water signs, it's that Four of Wands that I kept talking about, also in reverse. Very interesting. Every single card here, even the one that's behind the overall energy is in reverse. 6 reverse cards. All right, so I want to start with the Queen of Cups in reverse, because that's here to tell us that everything's going to be okay, basically. A Scorpio specifically may be particularly significant to you this week, or in general. Maybe that's your mate, or maybe that's you. The Queen of Cups in traditional tarot practice does represent Scorpio most directly, but this chalice that she's holding always looks like a scorpion to me too, when in fact it is, like I said, a chalice. Well, actually it's supposed to be like the Ark of the Covenant, and these are the angels that sit on the sides if you look really, really closely. But a Pisces or Cancer also may be involved in your life, or this could just be representative of love. So the Queen of Cups, even in reverse, is telling us that the outlook is good, right? Everything is positive, and like don't panic, don't worry. Especially if you stay like the most positive and loving side of yourself and of your personality, everything's going to be okay. Because when we are expressing love and feeling love and being love, that sort of encompasses like so many other things, like automatically, like compassion for other people and understanding and willing to listen and be patient. And this basically says like good things come to those who wait. Like if you have to be patient, and whenever it comes to you, it's the right time when it comes. Like don't force it. So let's keep that in mind. Also behind it is the Wheel of Fortune. It's in reverse too. But the Wheel of Fortune is another card that tends to mean like the same thing, whether it's upright or in reverse. It basically means like a reversal of fortune. So what you've been experiencing changing rather quickly, actually. So it could be like you experience some stuff this week and the next week it's over. Or you experience some stuff at the beginning of the week this week, and by the end of the week it's over. Like that energy has passed for you. So very quickly your circumstances changing. So now we'll go to the overall energy, which is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles in reverse, it's another card that can be similar to what it means when it's upright. If you're in a committed relationship, something may be pulling your attention away. So it's kind of like what we already saw with the dice, with its 50-50 and 29, spiritual partnership, and what we saw with the other cards that I almost began with. That something else could be pulling your attention away from your relationship, maybe work, right? Because the pentacles could be tied to work, and we need balance, right? It's not healthy to be that way. Also, if you're single looking for love, work or something else, or money, like your focus on these other things can still be pulling you away from love and relationship, and could be why you haven't met anybody yet. Like you're too wrapped up in that. Overall, it is a card of balance. It can also be about a decision that we're needing to make. So keep those things in mind. And now, fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your card is, again, your energy, the Page of Wands. So very representative of you. Could be specifically talking about you or your dealings perhaps with another fire sign, maybe younger than you, possibly even a Scorpio, because they too are ruled in part by fire, by the planet Mars, the planet of aggression, and the masculine planet of love, the planet of action. Wands are about movement and action. So that's very possible, especially with the Queen of Cups sitting directly above this Page of Wands in reverse. So this week, this period for you, Kim, if you have already met somebody or you already have a mate or something, can really be about you getting to know each other better. And on a deeper level, maybe through stories that you share, perhaps because, again, you're stuck in the house or you're having to, social distance, and so you're keeping yourself away from other people and you're only spending time with your mate, and so it's an opportunity to do different things and get to know people on a different level. We can't go to the movies, we can't necessarily go to a restaurant. In some places we can, some places we can't, so we got to come up with creative ways of our dating, and maybe we're going to instead just spend some time outside 6 feet apart, or to up close but with masks, or however we're going to do it. And that gives us a chance to just talk instead. So rather than maybe running to, a serious or immediate, or serious and immediate commitment, learning more about each other first, or if we're already in, again, what we consider a serious commitment, that getting stronger based on like something real and tangible, and deep, rather than just surface stuff and sex, maybe, other things that we can sometimes fall for that don't have the lasting and staying power that true connection and knowledge of yourself and your mate does. If you are single, then the Page of Wands says that there is somebody there for you. There's maybe even a message for you. You could even receive some sort of communication. But this week or this time, this moment is probably not the right time for you to become like seriously and immediately committed. For you too, you should take some time in getting to know the people that you meet and all of that, and to make up your mind and to really decide, again, based on something real. That also warns against like listening to other people and gossip and stuff about our mates and people that we meet that are potential mates and stuff. Like, don't go by what so and so said about him or her. Go by, again, the fact that you've spent some time actually getting to know this person and then making a decision based on that. Earth signs. Your card, again, is the Fool in reverse. And as I mentioned briefly, your desire for freedom, so tie it back to our overall energy of something maybe pulling you away from love. Your desire for freedom and independence also. You just really want to be who and what you want to be. And it may be affecting Taurians more so than anybody else, because this desire for freedom and independence is innate in Aquarians. And Uranus, the ruler of the sign of Aquarius, is located in your sign and has been for probably about a year and a half, and will be for probably about another 7 years, or 6.5, 7 years. And I think that you're picking up on that you're feeling this too. So if you want relationship, if you want love, and this is whether you're single or you've already met somebody or you're already involved, you got to act like it. You got to let the person know, because also it can be perpetuating a situation or giving an illusion of the fact that you're not in a relationship. Like you're acting single. And for those of you who are single, you're acting like you want to stay like that. Like you're not really interested in commitment, or, in having a mate, or dating, or being serious about somebody in any kind of way. So if you want love, the idea with the Fool is to not be a fool, not be foolish. And, again, open yourself up and let people know what's up, basically. All right, air signs. Let's get into this Tower. I'm thinking I may pull another card for us too. So intuitively, first I'm going to tell y'all, or us, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, by the way, that some of y'all may be in a home together, maybe cohabitating, and that's, again, driving you nuts. And maybe that's why you have a desire for freedom and independence yourself, not unlike the earth signs. And that desire, again, is what's pulling you away from a connection. Because a tower can be representative of an actual tower, like a home or structure or something. So for some of us, I think it's just especially thinking back to the cards with which we began, the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles. Some of us just really like, I need my space, I need a break. I need to be I need some time to myself or whatever. And some of us could take it all the way where, we end a cohabitation situation, or maybe like my son. I don't know, maybe this is why I was made to mention that before. Maybe, you have been staying together, but it's like, okay, I'm going to go stay with some other friends or family members for a little while just to get that break and break up the monotony and stuff like that. So some can really be somehow centered around an actual tower. Some that were looking to move together. You got to be, I'm feeling like a devil energy for you. So you got to be careful about like overly obsessing about material things, like maybe a home or whatever. And just the overthinking and obsessing about something, particularly material, could be what's like pulling you away from your connection as well. I don't know if I don't really have an example. I mean, in a way, I like see and hear an example, but it's not coming through completely. But it's something like when two people, say like two people want to have a child, and that's not a material thing, but say two people want a child, but one becomes like overly obsessed about it to the point that it just becomes like a practice, like sex becomes a practice and a work, and you lose sort of the emotion and the love, and then to the point that the other one is like, I've had it with this, like I almost don't even want to be a parent anymore because of the way you've made it about, you pulled away from the relationship and the connection and made it about something else. So that could be through what somebody's going that's watching this. Going more toward the traditional meaning of the Tower in reverse as it relates to love, the Tower is one of these cards that lessens in strength when it's in reverse. So whereas somebody could see the Tower for their relationship and think, oh no, it means I'm gonna, we're on the verge of breakup or something. It doesn't mean that when it's upright, and it certainly doesn't necessarily mean that when it's in reverse, but it can mean that there is something that we need to look to and address and get right. And there, there's some indication that there's communication that's needed in order for the relationship to survive, which makes sense with this being the air signs. If anybody can communicate about a situation, it's supposed to be us. So like, use your words. Think positively. Also, don't try to change your partner. That can be an air sign trait too, especially the females, like the Queen of Swords, when she's in reverse, is this kind of person that can be too much, too much. too aggressive, too forceful, trying to like make things be as she feels they should be. And we definitely want to stay away from that. Also, you got to think about what you, and it may just be communication. That may be all you need. But if not, like, what can you contribute to the situation to make it better? And also, both people have to want to make a situation better, have to be on the same page in that respect and say, yeah, I want to save the relationship. Okay, I want to save the relationship too. And then you put whatever into it that you have to in order to make that happen. But I will pull another card for those of us that got the Tower. And it is, and I say I felt the devil. Boom. I felt the devil. So it is possible, and maybe because you've been stuck together, and I'm only saying that because of not only am I saying it because we have indeed been stuck together in many cases, but because of also the cards. I'm thinking about the cards from the beginning as well: the Ace of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun. That tell me what they told me, that some of us need space, some of us need some time to ourselves and stuff like that. And I think that maybe some of us have realized while being stuck together, so to speak, that we don't really know each other, or we're not really, maybe that well matched, or perhaps we were, but our time is over. And we may decide to, again, end a cohabitation situation. In other words, somebody may decide like to move out, or we could just, on a lesser scale again, maybe it's just like, well, I need to go home for a little while. I need to go to my place, or I need to go to stay with some family or friends or whatever, or on vacation or something, and think and be by myself for a little while, and then we can get back. Traditionally in this position, it's a warning that trouble could be brewing, and then, sitting here clarifying the Tower, I think, to say the least, trouble is brewing, right? Or something's up. Again, communication. Somebody could be feeling trapped, stuck. For some, it may be a legal situation. Maybe you have to actually divorce, because that came up actually in the general. This is why I said, like, watch both, because I don't remember everything that happened, but I was feeling something about divorce, and then I pulled the same way I just pulled the devil after shuffling the cards and not knowing what was next and stuff. I did it in the general with the devil as well. So check it out. I don't remember for what element or sign. It definitely was not for air. Our card was good. It was just positive. I don't remember what it was, but it was positive. Anyway, if you're looking for love again, then even you, being a single person, need to give some thought to how trapped you may be feeling, or worried about feeling or being once you're in a relationship. It's like you are also yearning for this freedom, and you like your singleness or hood, or whatever is the correct word. But if you want to be with somebody, and maybe that's why this is crossing this Fool in reverse too, because you're getting some of that energy. Or maybe this is more so for the Aquarians, right? We have the Aquarian Taurus connection here. Like, what do you want more? And what can you do as an individual to and for yourself to be able to allow both to live? So your freedom, right? Not having to give it up completely and lose yourself to have a mate. And, those parts of you that want to share yourself with another person, how can they live happily together? So maybe for some, that what I was feeling about the cohabitation, maybe it's you. It's your, two sides trying to come into balance and live happily together in your body. Right? The one of you that yearns for freedom and independence, and the one of you who really wants to share the very best parts of you with another person, in a healthy love situation. In addition to that, a Capricorn may be particularly involved and significant this week, and or this could be tied to the two planets that are in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which are again Jupiter and Pluto, one of Scorpio's rulers. And this could be reminding some of you, or warning some of you during this period, like don't let this energy get to you. Remember, this is going on. And so that's probably why you feel this way. Think about that when you're thinking about your relationship and what you want to do, what your next move is, in terms of, are you really ready to let go of this relationship? Or is, a celestial activity, impeding on your better thought processes and decisions that you would otherwise make, sort of easily. Yes, I want my relationship. No, I don't want it. I'm tired. Maybe you're confused because of what's going on. So it's just like a reminder too, that these planets are in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, and quite possibly as soon as they go direct, you won't feel this anymore. So be careful about the kind of action that you take in terms of keeping or giving up a relationship. I'll put one more though, and then I'm going to move to the water. Oh, okay. Well, that's a sign of a happy outcome, one way or another. Whether it's because you decide you want to part ways, or you wait it out. Good. Again, remember, good things come to those who wait. You wait it out and realize that you want to make it work. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration, of reuniting, reconciliation, being social. So those of you who were imbalanced, and for whom I was feeling that, the devil energy of you're too caught up in something probably material and superficial and insignificant, and not giving, yourself and emotions and love enough nurturing, this can be, okay, now, ultimately you end up doing that and, spending some time with other people, enjoying life and love. All right, so that brings us to the water signs finally. Sorry about that long, that amount of time I spent with the air signs. So Four of Wands is another one of these cards that is pretty much still the same even when it's in reverse, right? The Four of Wands is the Four of Wands. And for the most part, it is a card that everybody wants to see in terms of their love life, because it's a card of commitment and contracts up to and including marriage. It's about happiness and contentment and just being exactly where you want to be and with whom you want to be, and just, loving life and not really necessarily wanting for anything in a given moment. Maybe even cohabitation, a home together, having, remodeled your home or made additions to your household, moved, additional people in, maybe blended a family with children, maybe gotten pregnant. All of these things can be tied to the Four of Wands. So it's an awesome card to have in the placement of love. At the same time, it reminds us that we still have to work on even a relationship that just is wonderful. When we feel matched and we feel happy, you still have to put in work to maintain that. And, it's asking that you do that, that you don't just get caught up in the fairy tale of it all. That you remember relationships require work in order to stay together and remain happy. For those who are single, it can definitely mean that maybe you are going to socialize. Maybe we got some Gemini Cancers here. You're going to socialize, maybe attend a wedding. a birthday, graduation, something, and that may be where you meet this new potential mate. I think I'm going to clarify these one more time, this time with the Universal Love Oracle, and then do the advice. Let's do that. So water signs, if you get invited to a social event and it's possible for you to go, and just open to forgiveness, by the way, do go. Forgiveness. Transience, which is rising above a situation, allowing for what's meant to be, including healing, surrender. Forgiveness. Spiritual growth. After we put some thought into things and you see all this red, this fire, this too could be very Sagittarius, Jupiter. It's helping that to happen. Also dreams, another very watery and maybe, for me more so Piscean and Neptunian than necessarily other water signs, but definitely watery, and often feel connections between water signs and earth signs. When I pick up this card, more importantly, it's about receiving downloads and dreams, whether you're asleep or awake. Also, your dreams coming true, and you making things happen, fulfilling your goals, sort of pinpointing, maybe narrowing some things down of what dreams on what you want to focus. How do you see yourself? So that's another thing. I was talking about the water signs getting caught up in the fairy tale, like the dream world of it all. Be careful of that. But other than that, you guys got an awesome card. So I opened opposite sorrow. It was in reverse, and I do think that means something. I think it's in terms of that sorrowful period having ended through things like meditation and spiritual growth and manifestation and answered prayer. This card, very air and water for me, particularly Aquarius and Scorpio. Okay. Just getting these mixed up too, like the others. Fresh energy, but keeping the cards in mind that we had before, which was abundance. And now birth, or for some, rebirth. It comes at a very interesting time. This Pentecostal dove keeps showing up in the readings this week, too. And of course, we just experienced the Feast of the Pentecost last week. And this week, today, as a matter of fact, is the Feast of the Trinity, which is based around the Pentecost, depending upon what type of Christian one is, if they're a Christian at all, of course, is on what day in different parts of the world the Feast of the Trinity is celebrated. But it is today. And then speaking of the Trinity, you see these three rays rising from the birth card. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty special. Also behind that, the goddess, which for me is like specifically the goddess of the moon. I can't help but notice the moon right behind her. And the nude body, both of which are about surrender and letting go. And listening to the messages that we download. And then you see behind that is retreat and this very earth and air / card, particularly Aquarius and an earth sign. So maybe representative of that Taurus and Aquarius connection that popped up a couple times. All right, so now we'll do this. So in addition to the messages we already got for the fire signs with the Page of Wands in reverse eternal flame. This is also your energy. And again, this is about you connecting on a deeper level with someone, or meeting somebody and really getting to know them on a deeper level. And that is how we reach, I think, this eternal flame. Like, you could be connecting with a real soulmate, and again, ending up with far more than a superficial connection this week. Or if you've already met your soulmate, you could be taking that next step energetically, spiritually, emotionally. Earth signs with the Fool in reverse. Celebration. And it's another one of these Pentecostal doves. It's another one of these Three of Cups kind of cards. So it is of things working out as you would want them once you make that decision, I guess, whether you want to be single or you want to be partnered. Also, the bird taking flight is very symbolic of freedom and independence, isn't it? So I think that you come up with a way to make it all work for you, and to, like I was saying, to the air signs, to incorporate both. That those parts of you that seek to be free and have time to yourself and independence and make your own decisions, have your own mind separate and apart from your partner, but also those parts of you that choose to share everything else with another person. Air signs. Atop our Devil and Tower Three of Cups is Earth connection. So again, that feeling that I was getting about all the Aquarius and Taurus energy, I think, is showing up here. It may also be very well tied to this Capricorn energy specifically, and maybe a Capricorn that is significant to us, coming in a general sense from the Capricorn energy, again, because Jupiter is there in retrograde. Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, luck, karma. So things are coming about. And I mentioned specific signs that I felt were most affected the other day, and Gemini was one of them. Gemini, the other cardinal signs I said, was Capricorn as a cardinal sign. And that may have been it. Also from this card, I'm getting more energy of three, like the Three of Cups. Threes are about abundance in themselves. And of course, the need to remain grounded, again, and not to be too forceful and, so it's like your air, you're sort of not grounded, right? We're flighty. We can be flighty. This is a reminder to remain grounded. And lastly, water signs. Abundance. You got a similar card. Like I said, there might be some Cuspians, not just Gemini, Cancer, but maybe Libra, Scorpio, also Aquarius, Pisces. And that's why we're picking up similar energy. And whatever the deal is, you guys got the card with which we started, although you saw me shuffle and everything, and it is the abundance. So all you have to do, again, is let go, allow, surrender, and let what's meant to happen, happen. And then those of you in relationships, don't let the beauty of the relationship, the comfort of the relationship, while that's amazing to have, don't let it compromise you. Don't let yourself become so comfortable that you feel you don't have to give anything to the relationship. If you want it to remain abundant and to continue to thrive and grow, you got to put yourself into it. Further to that, we have some advice here for each archetype, masculine and feminine. They got two. That wasn't on purpose. From the Universal Love Oracle to the masculine, you have love, and it is more red and fire. So I think definitely fire signs experiencing this kind of energy this week. Masculine fire signs just really feeling in a place of love, but this is for all of you. So whatever sign you are. Tantric union for the feminine. So this is about feeling connected even if we're not in the physical, So again, focusing on those deeper connections, the spiritual connection, the energetic connection, maybe speaking to each other in dreams, seeing each other in dreams when we're both asleep and awake. So when we're awake, we consider that more so telepathy, telepathic connections. Also seeing it through signs, synchronicities that are around you. Allow yourself, because again, the nude body is also about surrender and allowing. Allow yourself to really feel those connections, whether they are in the physical or not. Masculine, the 9 of fire, 9 of wands, tells you to keep going, to be persistent, and to persevere in those things that you actually want and desire. So again, if you want to maintain a relationship, you make that decision, then you do what you need to do to maintain a relationship. You think, you've been feeling like you want to let it go, but you think about that first and weigh your pros, weigh your cons, and then you come to a decision that you don't let somebody else put in your ear, and then pursue whichever that is. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. For the feminine, from that same deck, is the 4 of water, the 4 of cups. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. So this is about us, again, not realizing that if we don't give of ourselves, if it's not 50-50, like the dice said, if it's not reciprocal, we do stand a chance of missing out, of missing an opportunity, of somebody walking away from us, of us giving the appearance that we're not interested, that we want to be single, we want to remain that way, that we're not happy, we're not able to be pleased. So this is about you, not about the other person. You taking some time to stop and smell the roses, to count your blessings, to realize that you are receiving messages around you. You are receiving goodness, goodness and mercy. Follow me all the days of my life. But I might not think about that sometimes. It's a reminder that we need to, so that we don't allow anything to pass us by. This is about the possibility of something that you do want, something that you do desire, going by the wayside, passing you by, because you just didn't put yourself into it. You allowed yourself to be pulled away. From the animal tarot to the masculine, the 4 of wands. So, like I said, I just felt like you guys were going to really be in this place of love, particularly the fire signs. And, again, I think it's for everybody, but I think there may be just a particular extra for the fire signs this week, and maybe fire signs that are dealing with water signs, since the water signs got the 4 of wands also. It's time to kick back, to relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, and a very happy home life. Again, the 4 of wands is about contracts, commitments, everything up to and including marriage, moving in together, just deciding that we're happy and we want to stay that way, so we're going to put the work into it that we need to. For the feminine, Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment as well. The Hermit most directly represents the sign of Virgo. And we just talked about the fact that some of us need to go within and again figure out what it is we want, and then allow it to come to us because it wants to. So That's just reconfirmation of that from the Ascended Masters deck to the masculine father, husband, brother, son. It could be some engagement stuff this week too. After realizing that you already met the internal flame, maybe. We want to deepen the commitment all the way to something like husband. But in any case, father, husband, brother, son, Osiris is a card that suggests that there's a masculine energy in our life with whom we need to heal a relationship in order to move forward. That masculine energy can be our own inner masculine. All souls are androgynous, right? At the soul level, we all have a masculine and a feminine. So whether you're male or female, and it can be yourself with whom you need to heal the relationship. It can be yourself that you need to nurture, right? And who you need to forgive, from whom you need to like release guilt feelings and stop trying to be a people pleaser and pride and all of these things, right? Negative emotions, so that you're able to move forward in love and relationship. Again, the feminine got 2. 1 is follow your heart. So you're going to have to do that contemplation. Then you do what you choose. And more of these doves. Isn't that interesting? I think it is. Doves bring messages too, right? Messages of love and everything. Also, people release doves when they're happy, when they're celebratory, weddings and things. So I think that ultimately it's about you being happy. But you won't be if you don't choose what's in your heart to do. Again, the feminine got 2 cards. The other one is trust. So like trust the guidance that you're receiving. Trust what your heart is telling you. Trust what your soul is telling you. Trust your intuition, the messages that you're getting, and then proceed accordingly. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle, lastly for the masculine, Cloak of Wisdom. You already know the answer that you seek. Trust what you know. So just like the feminine, the messages you're getting, you're guided to trust them and follow through. And lastly, for the feminine, speaking of messages and birds, Odin, Psychic Insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. Yes, follow your intuition, follow your heart. Hope you guys have enjoyed the love reading. I may post some of the, I got a couple client readings to do. Maybe I'll post them. I'm thinking of, if I can find the time, I really would like to post the astrological readings as well. So hopefully I'll be back soon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. If you do decide to subscribe, please hit both the subscribe button and the bell button, and we'll all keep our fingers crossed that you'll actually receive your notifications when I put up a video. Thanks again. Namaste.